All right, Christy, thank you. Developing tonight in Anderson County, a judge is hearing arguments to decide if the teen accused in a deadly shooting at Townville Elementary School will be tried as an adult. It's been more than a year since the then 14-year-old suspect killed 6-year-old Jacob Hall. A teacher and 2 students at Townville Elementary were also shot but did survive. The teen is also charged with the murder of his father. Now, all day, families of the victims had to relive that deadly day. They heard the testimonies of witnesses and investigators.
7 News reporter Nicole Ford's been inside that courthouse all day long. She's standing by live outside the courthouse now with a breakdown of all the testimony today. Nicole.
Well, Gordon and Diane, since this is a family court case, this hearing was not open to the public. So inside that courtroom was a very small crowd full of witnesses, family members, and first responders. But throughout the entire day, the alleged shooter, who was 14 at the time of this tragedy, just sat quietly next to his lawyer as the court discussed where his case would be tried. From victim to suspect, family members were present for both sides as a judge opened court to decide if the teenage suspect would be tried in adult or family court. As witnesses took the stand, they began to recount what they saw that tragic September day.
Chaos, basically. We witnessed one of the victims being held by a teacher.
And what they heard from the alleged shooter, who was just 14 at the time.
He said, good thing my gun jammed, or I would have shot more, or good thing my gun jammed, or I would have killed more.
To these law enforcement officers, they say on that day, there was no doubt who was responsible, the teenage suspect in their custody.
He said he thinks he killed his father. Then he said, no, I know I killed my father.
But the defense's argument was that this teen did not know what was going on while law enforcement questioned him.
So the child made a knowing decision in waiving his rights?
From what I saw, he did.
And was not old enough to make that decision alone.
If he had asked for his family or an attorney, we would have stopped the interview.
So the defense asked the taped confession to be taken out of evidence for this hearing, but after review, the judge ruled to keep it in.
Age in and of itself is not a sufficient basis to declare that a statement was given involuntarily.
Now, court ended today with the crowd watching that confession tape, and while the media was not allowed to watch that tape or record it, we do have a hard copy of the transcript right here that we will be reviewing ahead of tomorrow's court. Live in Anderson County, Nicole Ford, 7 News.
Talk about what's at stake here, Nicole. So is it the judge who will decide whether this is an adult or a juvenile defendant? And then that's a huge difference in how this proceeds from there, right?
Correct. This decision's ultimately up to the judge. So what's going to transpire over the next few days is essentially both the state and defense will be calling their own witnesses and providing evidence on why they think that this should be in adult court or in family court. So then it's going to be ultimately up to the judge.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake here. All right, Nicole Ford in the courtroom all day. Nicole, thank you. We do want you to know there are some media outlets around here, and you may have seen them identifying the 14-year-old now charged with murder and attempted murder in the Townville shooting, and you may have just noticed we did not name that person. It is our standing 7 News policy to not identify this juvenile defendant by name or by showing his photo because he has at this point been charged as a juvenile. We believe that is still appropriate given that the judge ordered the media not to show the teen's face during today's hearing.